There are only a few things in life that everybody agrees on. Star Wars exists.
Dogs are very good to see.
And Beyonce is in charge.
And this week's topic is another thing that we think most people agree is good. It's the circle that's made out of triangles and comes to you in a square. This week on How Star Wars Is It, we're talking about pizza.
How Star Wars is it?
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Gospel.
Hi, Mr. R.
Hello, it's Mr. Gospel and Mr. R. Welcome to our Christian radio station.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, no, we're gonna do our podcast that we do called How Star Wars Is It?
That's right.
It's the only podcast, and it's a podcast where we review things, we compare those things to Star Wars. That's our only criteria in giving it a final score. You know, we say
right.
we're not talking about if it's good or bad. That's not true. We do talk about if it's good or bad, but that doesn't weigh into its score, except for how good or bad we think Star Wars is. So yes, I guess it does weigh into the score.
So we're really talking ourselves into a corner here.
Yep.
So maybe we should do a Christian talk show with Mr. Gospel, Mr. R. But today on the show,
we gotta think of what those names might be for like a Christian radio show. I mean, like obviously those probably exist, but like, what's a Bible verse that the number, you know, the book and chapter, or the chapter and verse rather, would line up to like an actual like you know,
an FM station?
Frequency. Yeah, right. Like
God.
like 103.5 or whatever.
Yes, 10 something. Yeah,
yeah.
The one I remember.
5.
The one I remember was The Breeze 105.7, which I don't know if that was actually a verse, but it was called The Breeze. And it played sort of the boring Christian music. Not like Air One, which played like sort of your more rock and roll stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like you know,
Toby
like
Mac.
Switchfoot. Yeah, Toby Mac.
Reliant K.
Oh, yeah, dude. Reliant K with an E. Very funny.
Yes, that's true. With 2 E's.
Anyway, 2 E's and a K. So let's see. Today on the show, we're talking about something that we've wanted to talk about for a long time.
In fact, I feel like we may have even mentioned it on like our first episode, or definitely within the first couple episodes, because I remember thinking, how do we like explain this idea besides just Star Wars movies or other movies, like that we want to talk about other things? And I remember that one of the first ones I thought of was like, we got to do pizza at some point. And in fact, I also really wanted to, and the situation has changed given other episodes, but I wanted pizza to be the first ever 10 out of 10, which is truly a ludicrous thing to say, because it's food.
Yeah, sure.
But I've taken notes over the course of the last like year or so in my phone, building a case for pizza being very Star Wars. So I'm very excited to finally be doing this episode. We should also say we're recording this mid-October, and I think it comes out maybe mid-November. It may even, in fact, be the first episode that comes out after Election Day. We know that doesn't necessarily mean that we know the results of the election yet, and that could be good or bad. And my guess is the world is just a pretty awful place right now, no matter how we slice it. And speaking of slicing, we figured what's something that maybe people would like to hear about no matter what, because everyone loves pizza.
It's true. Yeah, judging by the state of the world right now and sort of how everything's going, almost certainly everything will still be bad in November.
Oh, sure.
It could be worse. It could be slightly better. We'll find out. And we have
could be indicated that it will be slightly better, but because of that, things will be worse.
Yes, they might be worse before they get better.
validity or because it takes fucking 3 weeks to count all the votes.
And for our listeners abroad, which we do have a couple,
yes.
for those of you who don't know or aren't familiar with the American sort of electoral system, then you are lucky. I'm not going to teach you.
Yeah, because no one here is either.
Yeah, we don't know about it either, and it's all bad, and nothing makes sense, and the people with the most votes don't win anyway, so who cares?
Yeah.
So anyway, but we're gonna we got a
should do an episode on the Electoral College at some point.
It's evil. That's for sure. There's evil in Star Wars.
So fucked.
But November is just a bunch of fun eps. You know, we're doing some fun, laid back eps.
Actually, speaking of something you just said, and then I'll give it a rest about evil and things like that. My thought I always have about like people who think that the way things go right now is a good way, and that like, you know, Republicans have so much power, yet largely people would rather have a more, like, not even necessarily progressive, but a blue leaning, like I think something like 60% of Americans would rather vote, you know, on the bluer side of things, or at least given their actual interests or whatever. I wonder about the people who don't want to vote that way, if they've ever seen any movie.
Sure.
I think that all the time. Like, have you not seen Star Wars or read Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings or anything where like a group of people is oppressed and they band together to like save the day from like totalitarianism?
Well, what's interesting, so there was a recent Twitter thread that was going around where someone was like, name any like universally reviled evil person from reality or fiction, and I will defend them using like right-wing tactics.
Oh, okay.
And so he did, and it was like very effective because it is basically the stuff that people say now about just, you know, anybody, any political leader ever, because they spin things. But it was stuff like for like the Emperor in Star Wars or whatever, it was like, say what you want, but he united the planets.
Yeah.
And people were safe, and it wasn't until the rebellion came along that a lot of people started dying, and it removed that infrastructure and security that so many people had.
Right.
So like, it is strange what they're I mean, we could get really into this if we want to.
Yeah, maybe we don't.
But yeah, no, I mean, we've the Republican Party brainwashed the white people and Christian base over the course of several decades because of Reagan and Nixon, and it was on purpose, and it wasn't an accident. And so now people vote against their own interests because they think that they
too could be billionaires.
Yes, or because they hate you know, people aren't white. So anyway, back to our light fun episode.
Pizza.
Whoa.
Yeah, maybe we just cut all of that. But yeah, no, so I'm like just super, super pumped to talk about this because the list in my phone is in fact actually a little cumbersome, and like I should probably just start reading from it now because it'll take the rest of the episode to even just get through it.
Well, let's just define our terms real quick, okay? Pizza, all right? We're talking about pizza.
Talking
all right?
about
We're talking
a
about
circle,
pizza
sometimes a square.
Sometimes a square. And I'm just going to say pizza in any form, all right? I'm talking deep dish. I'm talking pan style.
That crusty edge Detroit baked style.
Yeah, it's like flat. It could be a little tall.
Or flat.
Could be a circle.
We're talking about New York City.
New York, you fold it and you walk and you eat a slice.
Yeah.
Now, are we talking mostly about the Americanized form of pizza? Probably, because that's kind of the one that is
that we are familiar with.
Popular, but I think pizza also, you know, existed and exists in other countries, and it's also popular in other countries. So that's the parameters we're talking about. All right, we're talking about za, okay?
Yeah.
And the you know, I have this let's real quick. This is my journey with pizza.
Yes, let's do pizza journeys.
Let's do pizza journey. I have three things. First off, very specific memory of getting like an A on my report card or something in elementary school and getting to go to a pizza party that was held at the school for lunch. And I remember like I was like 7 or 8 and I ate like 8 slices and like everyone's crust too, because people weren't eating the crust. I was like, I'll eat that. And then today can't eat very much. I could eat a lot of pizza if I want to, but if I ate 7 or 8 slices of pizza now, I would really pay the price.
Right.
Not only because I can't eat dairy or tomatoes, but even if I could eat dairy or tomatoes, my body would, I think, reject it and shut down. And it boggles my mind that the body mass, the volume of a 7-8-year-old. I don't understand how 8 pieces of pizza went into that kid.
Fit.
Like, I don't understand how that happened.
Without the kid's body looking like how when a snake eats a mouse, like the shape of the food.
So, yes, exactly.
There's a bunch of like triangles pointing out of you.
Just like dunk, dunk, dunk. And then the other thing, when I got into like junior high and high school, we would go to, like, when I would hang out with my friends, Eddie and Jared, Domino's was doing this thing like the 5 for 5 or whatever, where you could get like, I don't know why it was called that. It probably wasn't called that, but you could basically get like a medium pizza for like $5.
Are you thinking of 5 for Fighting?
Yes, sorry. We would
and a
order
pizza cost $15.
Yeah, we would call them every time and be like, "How much does pizza cost?" He was like, $15 for a moment. But so we would each get a medium pizza from Domino's with bacon on it, and like that's when we discovered bacon on pizza. And we would each eat an entire medium pizza by ourselves from Domino's. Which, once again, I could do that now. But as like a 14 and 15-year-old, that was just like, that was easy, right? That was easy.
Right.
And then whenever I was like 16, I found out I was allergic to milk and tomatoes and eggs and all sorts of other stuff. And that was why I always had to go to the bathroom and why it was always an emergency.
Just lots of pee.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It all turned into pee.
It all turned into pee. And then I really could have used one of my cups, one of my fancy inventions. But so then now I only eat real pizza, like with actual cheese and tomatoes, if I know I have like nothing to do that night or like the next morning.
Yeah.
So that's when it's a treat for me.
Right. I've been doing keto lately, and in fact, for the past maybe 2-3 weeks, I sort of stopped doing it because of fall seasonal beers. Essentially, was the only reason. And I'm only recently realizing, like, I feel worse. Or rather, I feel bad more often than I did when I was doing keto.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I have like a gluten thing or, whatever, or if it's just that like sugar and flour are actually very bad. But like,
yeah.
I'm like, I just today or yesterday was like, okay, I'm going to go back to doing keto because like, I just like felt a little better. I didn't know that I felt better at the time of doing it for 2 months because it was kind of boring and I just like didn't really enjoy it. But then when I stopped doing it and started eating like candy and beer and bread, I was like, man, I am full and hungry both.
Yes. I remember when I did Whole30 a couple times, I had that same feeling where like I'd be doing it and I'd be like, God, I'm bored. Everything's like there's nothing fun to eat.
It is very boring.
Everything sucks. And then like I would get done and I'd just immediately go back to eating terribly. Or not eating terribly. There's no, food doesn't have moral value.
Sure.
But eating more unhealthily for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would be like, wow. And especially drinking alcohol, even when you don't drink that much.
Yeah.
Like the times in my life when I've gone a while without drinking, like doing Whole30 or just randomly, whatever, I just don't. It's very strange how much your head and your body's just like, wow, I haven't had any poison in me for like a couple weeks.
Boy,
this is
everything
great.
Feels good to me now. Yeah.
And then you put the poison back in, your body's like, what? No.
Yeah, right.
Now I have to do so much extra work.
Right.
Which is, hey, it's yummy poison, though.
It's really yummy poison.
And hey, speaking of yummy
Cheers
poison.
to that.
Yeah, I got to be a cider.
So pizza journey-wise, for me, I love, it's great. I love it. I have pizza MeUndies. I have a pizza t-shirt that's like kind of cute and like arty. I think pizza is like a like kind of a funny thing. I think it's like a trendy funny thing. You know how like mustaches or like bacon were like trendy for a while? I don't think pizza is at the level of bacon where it's just sort of like Jesus Christ. But like I do feel like pizza is something that like has inherent funniness to it.
Hey, dude, yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, like it has like a lightheartedness, I guess.
Yes.
But I will say, I do love all kinds of pizza for what they are. Like I feel like if you're looking to get like an authentic Mexican dinner, you don't go to Taco Bell. But you do go to Taco Bell when you are looking to get Taco Bell.
Yes.
And I feel that way about all the different types of pizza. Like if someone said like, what's your favorite pizza? I would have a hard time answering that. I think I would say Jimmy's Pizza Cafe on Foster and Lincoln here in the north side of Chicago because it is just the fucking best pizza ever. It's very New York style. And it's so good. But if you said like, what's your favorite deep dish, or what's your favorite like shitty chain pizza, you know, like I would have an answer to those. I also like, I don't know where to classify Jets because it is a chain, but it's not quite like Domino's ubiquitous. And I think Jets is the best if it is chain period. But if it's like shitty chain, I would probably say Domino's. And then if it was like intermediate between shitty chain and like classy like gastro pub or like specific pizzeria style pizza, like I would say Jets. I think Jets is fucking boss.
I was always a Domino's fan over Pizza Hut, and I remember do you remember when Domino's was like, hey everyone, we know our pizza sucks,
yeah,
and
they were
so
like,
we're gonna
listen,
change
America,
it all.
we fucked up.
And I was like, I feel strange
it
because
was a
I
very
liked
strange thing to do because I'm sure they were, you know, I think they might be the biggest pizza chain globally, maybe not in America. I can't remember.
I think Pizza Hut might be bigger, but I don't know.
But they're
globally,
regardless, they're gigantic, and it's like, oh, weird. That'd be like if Coca-Cola was like, hey, we're gonna change our formula. Oh wait, they did that too.
Whoa.
Like it is kind of odd. I do like what it tastes like now too, the Domino's change, but like I also was sort of like weird marketing idea. However, they do always have some kind of like funny marketing things. Like their recent thing was delivery insurance. Like if it gets to you and it like fell or like that you got the wrong thing or whatever, we'll give you a free one. And it's like interesting. That's just called like giving me what I ordered. I'm not sure you need to like make a whole like product around it in quotes.
Yeah. That's just called normal customer service.
Please give me the thing I wanted.
Yeah, I paid for something and you didn't give it to me, so then please give me the thing I paid for. I worked at a pizza place in college or right after college when I was saving to come to Chicago.
Did you make the pizza?
No, I was a server, but it was called I guess I can talk about it. I don't care. It's called 575 Pizza. I didn't sign an NDA. It's called 575 Pizzeria, and it was called that because that's how hot the ovens were. They were 575 degrees, so it was kind of like a Blaze place.
Right.
Well,
okay.
no, it was not like Blaze at all. The only way that it was similar is that the pizzas cooked fast because the ovens were very hot.
Yeah.
They were not as quick as Blaze though, because those are very small, and these were like normal sized pizzas. But I remember, wow, there was some good saw there. And this is well after I already knew I was allergic to everything on pizza, and I would eat the free pizza anyway all the time. Because, hey, it's free pizza. What am I going to say? No?
Right.
And
we had the same thing. I worked at a laser tag place as a teenager, and we had a pizza chain attached to it.
And you ate some free lasers.
And I ate all the lasers that they had that were like day-old lasers.
Yeah.
That they couldn't
cheaper
give to
day-old
anybody.
lasers.
Yeah. But we had a Noble Romans attached to the company. Did you ever have that growing up?
No, but
that might be like a Midwest thing.
It sounds like a Little Caesars ripoff.
I think it might be in the like same kind of category as Little Caesars, but
Noble Roman, Little Caesar.
Yeah. And you would work a different shift there depending on like their scheduling needs. Like you might be a referee in the laser tag place, or you might be the pizza cooker for the day. Like it's just sort of like, it was like luck of the draw. And yeah, like it was very fun because you had all the just sort of like shitty frozen ingredients, and you had like the pizzas you could make. But then of course when like you wanted to just like take a lunch pizza, you could like pull out some breadsticks and throw some of the garlic spread on them and like make your own fancy thing with like bacon bits or whatever. Like hey, you know what? We're talking about pizza. Mm-hmm. And you said all pizzas, right? And we're talking like, that's the thing about a pizza. You can put a lot of stuff on there. Oh, hey. Okay. You can put pepperoni.
You can put pepperoni. You can put
cheese?
Sausage. You can put cheese. Multiple kinds of cheese.
Peppers.
Sauce.
There's like 5 or 6 different types of peppers you might put on there.
Yeah. The where do you fall? I feel like there's a weird. Okay, a couple of like you said earlier, like pizza was sort of had its internet heyday. Mm-hmm. I feel like it was I feel like now it's become less of one where it is just sort of it was a lowest common denominator thing, like with bacon and all that stuff. Where it's like everyone likes it, so we'll make all this internet stuff about it, and then it just kind of eventually was like people got tired of it.
Yeah.
But there is a classic like debate that the internet has brought forth, like the idea of like pineapple on pizza. Is it okay or not okay? And I've never quite understood why that is such a big idea or a big deal, because like in my opinion, it's like, who cares? Whatever you want. You can put whatever you want on your pizza.
Yeah, I think it's a big deal in the same way that like politics have such polarized sides. Like I would say one side of the political spectrum is, yeah, hey guys, just do whatever you want, like whatever makes you happy as long as you're not hurting anybody. And then the other side is like, sex before marriage is awful.
and you will die, and also we were gonna send you to jail.
Yeah, and I think the idea of pineapple on pizza like goes against their worldview that pizza is the yellow triangle with red circles on it that like is in the clip art menu.
I feel like you're right, but there's also like I feel like I've seen enough like internet comedy quote unquote people or like enough threads online of people
like
who are like
Reddit
making
people.
like going off about it, and I'm like, why is this the one you care about? Because like everybody has a favorite couple of pizza toppings.
Yeah, I know. It is weird. It's like it's a weird enough ingredient maybe that like people either like it or like don't, or maybe they even haven't tried it. Like maybe it's just because that it is a like tropical fruit and that you don't like associate it with like the sort of savory flavors you think of with pizza. I don't really know how to answer that question.
Like, do these people know that you can get pineapple on tacos? Like that there's like tacos al pastor with pineapple, which is really good. Like there are flavors that are savory that like fruit can go with.
Yeah.
Have you people never had bacon jam? That shit's good.
Yeah, I think maybe the people who are super anti pineapple on pizza, because I admittedly I don't even know if I've had pineapple on pizza. I think I probably have, and I just don't have an opinion on it. But like,
I've had a Hawaiian pie.
Yeah,
the Canadian bacon and pineapple, and it's great.
But the people who are like, no, are just like, okay, well, you are small-minded.
Yeah.
Like, you are a Sith because you are dealing in absolutes.
Yeah, open your mind. A pizza could be anything. A pizza could be a piece of bread, some meat, some cheese, and then another piece of bread on top. That could be a pizza.
Like a little round, like a little like 4-inch diameter piece of hardtack, like from the Civil War days, with a red plastic stick that you spread very sweet marinara on, and then like some salami that like tastes like pepperoni on it. And hey, you got yourself a Lunchable pizza, my friend.
At first I was like, he's talking about Lunchable, and then you said Civil War, and I was like, oh, he's not talking about Lunchable. And then you said red stick, and I said, oh, he is talking about Lunchable.
You get a little Crunch Bar.
Yeah, you get a little Crunch Bar. You get a Capri Sun. So I've kept you from reading your notes for too long.
I just remember that. Okay, so I'm just gonna rattle some off really quick because I'm not sure they all merit any actual like discussion. But this is the case for pizza being Star Wars. It is ubiquitous. Everybody knows about it. Sometimes it is good. Sometimes it is bad. But no matter what, it like is pizza.
Yes.
And I think probably more people like pizza at a per capita rate than like Star Wars. But of the people who like it, they're going to like it no matter what, even if it's just kind of shitty.
Yeah. Well, it's like the old adage where it's like pizza is like sex, right? When it's good, it's great. And when it's not, it's still pretty good.
And when you do it before marriage, you go to hell.
You go to hell. And which also isn't true, because I've had very bad sex where afterwards I was like, I actually would have been better off if that hadn't happened.
Pizza.
Yeah, like pizza would have been better, and like the amount of joy that I have, and like just for everybody and the other person would have been more if nothing had happened or pizza had happened.
Right.
So
and
anyway,
I of course have never gotten
life.
Married to pizza, so I have never had pizza.
Well, and I have never had sex with pizza either because I never married it. Have had sex with a pizza pie, American pie.
Yes.
Anyway.
Hey, you get a pie crust, you throw some apples in there, that's a pizza.
That's a pizza, baby. There's like the sandwich debate where people are like, what's a sandwich? And I'm like, hey, but it's pizza.
Here's my answer to all of those internet debates. Be clear with what you are trying to communicate.
Yes, that's all that matters.
If your goal is to convince me that a hot dog is a sandwich, fine. But if you come up to me and I own some kind of restaurant that has all sorts of different items and you say, I want a sandwich, I will not be giving you a hot dog unless you specify, I would like a sandwich, like a hot dog sandwich. And I would give you a very weird look and I would say, a hot dog? And you'd be like, yes, the sandwich. And I'd go, okay.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay, then it's a hot dog. I'll give you a hot dog. Fine. You can call it a sandwich if you want. I'm not going to start calling it a sandwich.
I think it's cute, and by the criteria of a sandwich, sure, it's a sandwich. But ask for what you want.
Exactly. It's like
don't ask for the bathroom if you're trying to find a place where you can get cell phone service. Like,
yeah.
like, well, hey, if your ask is that you need cell phone service, I'll tell you the best place to stand.
Yeah. For me as a Texan, we are all familiar with this because your sodas, right? People call it pop, people call it soda pop, whatever. In Texas, it's very common just to refer to it all as Coke.
Right.
But as Texans too, you know that if you go to a restaurant and you don't want Coke, you don't say, I'll have a Coke. And then unless you are saying in general, like, what kind of Cokes do you have? And then they can say Dr. Pepper, Sprite, like all the kind of Cokes that they have.
Right.
But especially if you're not in Texas and you go somewhere, you wouldn't be like, I'll have a Coke.
Yes.
And then they bring you a Coke, you'd be like, I wanted a Dr. Pepper. Like, you know that that's not what everyone calls it.
Right.
And so you're like, okay, well, I know that we have different terms, so I'm going to use the bigger term that we all know.
So, like, if you want a Dr. Pepper, you would say, I would like a hot dog.
Yes.
That's the
and then
moral
when they
of the story here.
And then when they bring you a Coke, you say, this is a sandwich. And you throw it away.
Yeah, and then you look at the camera and go, ain't I a stinker?
And then it's like the Twilight Zone door because it's like, what world are we in?
Yeah,
what kind of strange. All right. More notes?
Okay, you're always excited for it. You know, a Star Wars movie, a pizza party. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Pizza Hut literally partnered with Star Wars multiple times for, the Phantom Menace release. It was like a big deal.
You know what I miss? Pizza parties.
Oh my God, dude. Pizza parties and pizza parlors.
Yes.
If it's
like
pizza and the next word starts with PAR, I'm there.
Pizza
parkour?
Pizza Parliament. Oh man, Pizza Parliament would be great. But yeah, like a whole party where the only reason it's happening is just like, we got pizza.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck yes, dude.
Except for if that is instead of getting paid.
Yeah.
Now,
For
will
sure.
I be happy to have pizza if I help someone move or if I helped someone with some project or whatever? Yes, of course. And if I know that they aren't going to make a cent off of that thing, yeah, I'm okay not getting paid. But if it's like pizza because it's like we've had like a lot of extra hours at work to get a deadline or whatever, and then on Friday it's like, hey, we felt bad. Like,
here's
no,
some
this
pizza.
sucks.
Take this pizza and whatever you paid for it, split that up,
Yeah.
and then double it, and then triple that, and then put it in all of our checks.
Yes.
That's what I want.
Okay, another note that I have. I still have dozens. You can make it at home, but also experts can make it. So it can be like artisanal and perfect, or just home baked and half baked. There's all sorts of fan content.
I really like the idea
people make
of
podcasts, about Star Wars.
It's true. I really like the idea of making Star Wars at home. That's very charming for some reason.
Yeah.
It's just like,
But
we got homemade Star Wars.
Like fan films and stuff where
I'm
After Effects a lightsaber onto a stick or whatever.
I'm on board with you. I just think the turn of phrase is very sweet.
Homemade Star Wars. It comes from other cultures and countries, but became largely American, and then that version became sort of like the world's version of that.
Yes.
If you go to like London and you go to Pizza Express, it's like the London version of the American version of pizza.
Yeah. Because the original Italian pizza is like nothing like what America did to it.
Yeah. And then, of course, it's made of component parts. Some are always there. Some sometimes are and sometimes aren't. There are separate flavors that should work well together but don't, or other flavors that shouldn't work well together but do. And that is very Star Wars. As we've made clear on this show, Star Wars has like a certain, rubric of like things that are apparent in Star Wars, and that's what makes it Star Wars. There are things, like if you Googled pizza, my guess is you would see pictures of a pepperoni pizza. But like there's also pineapple, and there's also like the type where it's like fresh mozzarella and basil or whatever. Like, doesn't mean it's not pizza.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean it's not Star Wars.
Exactly.
And speaking of, I actually just remembered that we should say this on the show. I just said the word rubric, which is what made me think of it.
Yes.
And speaking of rubrics, we had an email from a listener in the past week. So, of course, again, this is now weeks after we received this, so sorry for the delay. But from a listener, Andrew, who created this whole awesome
Yes.
Excel spreadsheet rubric for like assigning scores to things of how Star Wars they are.
It's so good.
And there's like formulas and like what gets 1 point versus what gets 3 points in different categories. There's something like 10 categories or so of things that like add into it, like sneaking around and music and things like that. The things we always talk about, but it's very scientific and precise, and I'd be interested in looking at things we've already covered or maybe future things, and like going with whatever number we will tend to give it at the end of the episode by a knee-jerk reaction, and then also feeding it through the rubric and seeing if we're close. In fact, I think when we revisit Star Wars movies, we ought to use this.
Yes, we should. Andrew did a really good job, and it's very entertaining to read Andrew's analysis. And also, it made me very happy because Mike loves numbers, and I knew that a spreadsheet with some formulas in it would really, really get him going.
In fact, I clicked on the cells that I anticipated were formulas, and then seeing that the code was written in there made me really smile.
Very good.
For example, he gave us 2 examples. He gave us Avatar: The Last Airbender, which we will be sure to read his score when we cover that, because we are going to cover it soon. He also gave a score to those 12-foot tall Home Depot skeletons that you can put in your yard. So, yeah, thank you again, Andrew, for making that, and we will definitely try to use it in upcoming episodes.
I love it so much. It's so good.
Let's see. I want to cover maybe a couple more of my notes before the break here.
Sure.
There are different delivery systems of Star Wars that comes in the form of movies or shows or games, comics, books, etc. And pizza comes in different delivery forms. Obviously, you can get delivery pizza, but sometimes it's not delivery. It's DiGiorno.
It's DiGiorno.
And sometimes you can go to a place to eat pizza. And sometimes it's Blaze, where you have them make it right there in front of you. And sometimes it's a frozen pizza from Trader Joe's, or a Boboli crust that you make together with friends and family, or it's Lunchables, or it's pizza bagels, or it's those Totino's pizza rolls.
Oh, you love Totino's.
Totino's pizza rolls is like the shitty video games. Like a Star Wars like card trading app.
Yes, and
Totino's
one that
pizza rolls.
one that really takes advantage of the microtransactions. The most pizza I've had recently is from Blaze, because they have a vegan cheese and they have a sauce that's like the basil pesto or something, and it's like got only a little bit of dairy in it, so I can eat a Blaze pizza and
they
not
have keto crusts too, by the way, in case like sugar/flour is a problem for you.
The hard thing with me about pizza and Italian food in general, which I love, is that not only can I not have cheese, I can also not have tomatoes.
Ugh.
And so that's really hard, because tomatoes are kind of what makes it the thing it is.
Yeah, right.
Because if I get a pizza that has fake cheese and no tomatoes, like, what am I actually eating? That's not really a pizza at that point.
That is upsetting.
That's an open face sandwich.
Yeah.
That is not as good as it could be.
Here's what maybe I'll leave us on before the break, and then I still have probably 10 other cases for it being Star Wars. A real quick case against: it's a food.
Sure, can't eat Star Wars.
You
can't
sure
eat Star
can't
Wars.
eat Star Wars. At least not most of Star Wars. You can eat chili, and we say Star Wars is chili.
And you can go to Galaxy's Edge. Well, you can't right now, I'm pretty sure.
Please don't.
But you could get the blue milk there,
Yeah,
and you could actually eat it.
The thing
You
that
could
I
make
have,
the Chewbacca cookies from that cookbook.
Yeah, that cookbook. The thing I have here that I think is particularly silly is supremely recognizable circles.
Yeah, like the Death Star.
Pizza is a circle. Pepperonis is circles. Sometimes sausage nuggets are circles. The Death Star is 2 circles. It's a circle with a big circle on it. The Rebel insignia is largely a circle. The Imperial insignia is a circle. BB-8 is a circle.
We were in New Mexico recently for my little brother's wedding, and we were looking at some pottery and different souvenirs, and Charlie pointed to one of the pottery and said, like, "That's the Death Star, right? That looks like the Death Star." And I was like, "You're not wrong."
Now,
and Charlie
this is pottery.
She doesn't even really care about Star Wars, but she was like, "That looks like the Death Star." So yes, you're right. Yeah. Supremely recognized.
Very circular.
Very circular. Star Wars is a circle, flat circle, a hero's journey. It's a circle.
Yes.
I looked up some pizza facts, but I'll drop them at the end. Maybe at the end.
Yeah, do
of the
that
show.
because the game is largely about pizza facts.
I can't. That's why I was gonna wait because I was like, you never know.
Good.
Because sometimes we ruin each other's game by looking at the same Wikipedia article.
Yeah, hopefully was yours from Wikipedia?
I didn't really read it. I just had it up.
But it wasn't from
Yes.
another source. Okay, good.
It was
good,
from
good,
Wikipedia.
good. Okay,
Okay,
yeah,
great,
let's
good.
jump into the Sarlacc pizza.
The Pizza Pit. Whee! And we're back to school. Get your pizza bucks for reading for Pizza Hut, and you get.
You know
pizza
what's
bucks.
crazy is you just transitioned perfectly into this week's game. The name of this week's game is Book It. Except, actually, if you remember, we have done a game before called Ship It.
Yes.
Which is similar to Book It, and we changed its name to Millennium
Falcon
Falcon
Pennywise.
because what ship is more Star Wars than the Millennium Falcon, and Pennywise is it. So actually, this game is called, what is the most important book of all?
The
Webster's
Bible.
Dictionary Pennywise.
I said the Bible. I don't know
did.
if you heard, but you're right. Webster's Dictionary
Now,
Pennywise is better.
Except we have used Pennywise as it before, which feels like we're double dipping. So actually what this game is called is not Book It or Webster's Dictionary Pennywise. It's Webster's Dictionary Addams Family Hairy Cousin. So
Okay, well, I for one, am very excited to play Webster's Dictionary Addams Family Hairy Cousin.
Great. So welcome to America's favorite game, Webster's Dictionary Addams Family Hairy Cousin.
Millennium Falcon Pennywise is funny.
It is really funny. We have a funny podcast.
We have a funny show.
In this game, I will ask you trivia questions, the type that you might read about in a book. Not really,
Sure.
though.
I might read about them.
I doubt it.
Okay, great.
And if you get the questions right, if you answer a question right, I will give you a star sticker to put on your Book It button. Excuse me, your Webster's Dictionary Addams Family Hairy Cousin button.
Yes.
And just because we're changing the names of things, it will be your Webster's Dictionary Addams Family Hairy Curious Case of Benjamin. And once your Curious Case of Benjamin has 5 stars, you can redeem it at any Pizza Hut for a personal pan pizza.
Yes.
There are 10 questions, which means you have the possibility of redeeming it for up to 2 personal pan pizzas.
Ooh, I could
but
go on a little date.
I am guessing that isn't going to happen.
Okay, well, that's rude.
Now, these questions are all pizza related, and they come from the Eat This Not That blog's list of fun pizza facts. I think
Great.
Eat This Not That is maybe what we got the McDonald's facts from too. This is essentially the same game. So listeners, go back and re-listen to the McDonald's game, but just instead of it being called Takeout or Fake Out, consider that game also Webster's Dictionary Addams Family Hairy Cousin.
Oh, I was trying to figure out if we could think of a Takeout, Fake Out.
Oh.
But that seems hard, so keep
that
going.
Seems unnecessary. Okay. Are you ready? You need 5 stickers to redeem for a free pizza.
I am so ready.
Okay. Again, this is all according to that website. How many slices of pizza are... Oh, and these are all going to be multiple choice. Sorry, I should have said that too.
Great. That's easier.
How many slices of pizza are eaten in America in 1 second?
Jeez.
50?
No.
350?
No.
Or 1250?
It's got to be 1250.
It is 350.
No! I'm disappointed.
I read that and I was just like, does that mean like finished?
Just like, in one second. There are 350 people Scooby and Shaggy pizzas where it's just like, immediately disappear.
Yeah. Okay. Question
Wow,
number 2.
That's lower than I thought, but I guess a second is very... No, that doesn't seem right. You're telling me that there are only 350 people eating a piece of pizza at any given time in the United States?
I think this might have been calculated from the level of like, I mean, that's how many seconds are in a day?
525... Wait.
Nope.
Damn it.
It'd be
in
60
diapers,
times 60 times
in
20.
pizzas? All right, sorry. Go ahead. I'll save this. I'll take it up with eat this, not that.
Yeah. I think you are also predisposed to knowing things are big numbers because I remember being blown away by your Snapple fact that you hate about grains of sand and stars in the universe or whatever.
Listen, I love big numbers.
I remember thinking like, damn, I don't know how many grains of sand are there.
I remember, so after we did the episode with Michael Silver about physics, there was a lot of like physics stuff coming up on my phone of like, read these cool stories. And one was like, did you know there is a number so big that if you tried to think about it and you tried to store it in your brain, it would create a black hole? And I was like, no, it wouldn't. That's not how, I don't think that's how anything works.
That's not how finite numbers work.
Yeah, and it was like the number, it's like, because numbers just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger or whatever, but it's like, yeah, this one's so big humans can't think about it, and you could make a black hole in your brain if you thought about it. I was like, I don't think I could. I don't think I could think about anything and it would make a black hole.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's how brains work. But also,
Yeah.
hey, I'm not a quantum physicist. We have to ask Michael Silver. We gotta get him back on the show.
Okay, the second question.
Like, I can think about infinity and it doesn't make a black hole, and that's bigger than whatever number they're talking about.
Right.
So.
Right. Okay. But how big is the infinity? You know,
it's huge. It's like the
Because
size of
how-
a big figure eight that's
how
been
many-
made on.
how many odd numbers are there? Infinity, right?
Yeah, sure.
How many even numbers are there?
Infinity.
Also infinity, the same amount of infinity, but you can also add those two infinities together, and now it is a double
infinity.
big infinity. So, like, you know, how big? Which infinity are we talking about here? Anyway, question number 2.
Talk about the Hyundai Infinity or what? No, that's not a real car.
No, those are just two different brands of cars. Introducing the new Ford Chevrolet.
The team up you didn't know you needed.
Yeah.
Whoever wins, we lose.
Okay.
So we're one question in.
Yeah. Okay. Question 2. You so far have 0 star stickers.
Damn it! I want a
Hut
pizza.
sells about how many pizzas per year on Super Bowl Sunday?
Oh.
2.5 million,
Oof.
25 million, or 250 million pizzas?
Okay, I'm thinking about like the population of the United States. Because its Super Bowl would be mostly then 250 million seems very high. Because it doesn't seem like there's enough people to support that. So I'm going to go to the second answer. What was it?
25 million?
I'm going to go 25 million.
It is 2.5 million.
Jeez! Wait, you said 250 million.
No, I said 2.5 million, 25 million, or 250 million.
Oh. Damn
It was
it.
the lowest of the 3.
Once again, I am really thinking that America is a lot fatter than it is because, like, I know we are bad at
Yeah.
fast food, but man, I honestly maybe this is good.
Yeah.
This is good for my perceptions.
Yeah, these are good, like, knocking you down a peg from how bad
Yeah,
America
hey.
is.
Yeah.
Okay, about how many Pizza Hut locations are there around the world? A, 2,000, B, 18,000, or C, 61,000?
Well, I don't know. I feel like I'm swimming in the dark now, which is not a phrase, but I
careened off a bridge in my Ford Chevrolet, and I'm swimming in the dark.
in the dark. It's nighttime. I'm gonna go big or go home this time. How many? Well, no, that seems like so many. I'm gonna say 18,000.
18,000 is right. It's like 18.4 or something like that.
Yes.
So you got 1 star sticker. That's equivalent to, like, you read 20 books.
Yes.
Okay. When did pizza, again, this is according to this website, when did pizza become popular in the U.S.? Was it soon after America was, quote, discovered by Europeans?
Mm-hmm.
Was it
Fuck
after...
you, dude. You didn't discover shit.
Yeah. Was it after the end of World War I, or was it after the end of World War II?
Okay. This, I did read a little bit in the Wikipedia article. I saw something about... So I'm going to say after World War II because there would have been a lot of reasons to be in and around Italy since they were the bad guys.
Yes, that is correct, and that is also the reason why all the Americans stationed in and around Italy. You have 2
they were all
out
like,
of 5-star
"You
stickers.
gotta try this flat sandwich. It's so good."
They got this circle there, see? But they made that circle out of a bunch of little triangles.
And they put it in a square. Can you believe it?
And they drive it to your house. Who's this guy, by the way?
Where's he from?
New York City World War II guy.
Yeah. And he's never seen pizza before.
Yeah.
You know what? This is what's crazy. This is a slight tangent off that. I'm never gonna let you get through your trivia.
Well, what better time for a tangent than an episode all about circles?
It's
Circles have
calculus. So this is crazy, and listeners, talk to your parents and your grandparents about this because I think this is very interesting. So my parents
And hey,
grew
listeners,
up,
just talk to your parents and grandparents. Period.
yeah, just talk to them in general. But my parents grew up in like small town Texas, and this is something that was wild to find out is that like they were talking to me and Charlie a while ago about like the foods they grew up eating and the foods that were readily available and stuff. We were talking about like, because my dad has a very kind of limited palate because of that, but like they didn't have like any kind of quote unquote ethnic food. Like you couldn't really get like Chinese food or Indian food or even sometimes Mexican food in like these smaller towns in especially the Midwest,
Yeah, I'm picturing like Pleasantville.
Yes, and stuff like
food was
stuff
in
that
black
we
and
think,
white.
Yeah, right. It was, and stuff that we think are so normal, like bagels,
like Thai food.
Like my parents couldn't get bagels from the grocery store until the early '90s when they were in Iowa, and it was the first time they'd ever seen bagels in a grocery store. So like stuff that we think now as being such normal foods that you could just get at the grocery store, like your parents might have only started being able to get that like when you were born, or like a little before that, however old you are, and like it's no wonder that boomers have such bad taste because they couldn't eat anything good for like several decades.
Frozen peas that they would both eat and use to unswell their black eye.
Yeah, and they had a big steak that they'd use to unswell their other black eye, and then they'd have to cook that steak.
And then they would just have mashed potatoes.
Yeah, that's it. And that's why they're all so grumpy.
Yeah, none of them were doing keto. They're eating potatoes every night.
They feel like shit all the time.
Yeah, they're like, bread is good, fat is bad. Okay, on any given... This was phrased really weird on the website, and I think I interpreted it in a better way to phrase it, but I don't know. On any given day in America, what percent of the population eats pizza sometime that day?
Oh, I do know... Sorry, give me the thing.
So yeah, the answers are 2%, 7%, or 13%.
I do know this because when I was skimming Wikipedia, it was 13%, I think.
Wow, yes, that's exactly right. That's your 3-star sticker, my friend.
Which, hey, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's 1 out of every 10 people, a little more than that.
Right. It had pizza today.
That's why the per second one seemed low to me because I was like, if 1 out of 10 people are eating pizza every day,
right? But they're not all eating it like at 2 a.m, so that per second thing has to average out to like how many seconds of pizza consumed over the course of the whole 24
Really, what
hours.
it should be is pizza per waking hours.
Yes,
that would be. I would be interested to see that data.
That would be like an entire school bus of people all Scooby doing a slice of pizza. And like their neck is a triangle.
I was just going.
Okay. Pizza is responsible for increasing Americans' consumption of cheese significantly. Now, this stat was, since 1995, Americans have eaten approximately how much more cheese than they were? 26% more, 41% more, or 69% more?
Well, I feel like you only threw 69 in there to throw me off because it's funny.
It is hilarious.
It is very funny. I'm gonna go with like the 40%ish.
Yeah, 41%. So I get I don't know like how even they're like charting that, but like since 1995, the birth of pizza. I don't think so.
That is strange because that's a weird time to. I guess maybe that was the only
like when
data
they started thinking about it. Yeah, right. Like someone in the 90s was like, "Hey, you guys know pizza?" And everyone's like, "Yeah, a circle made out of triangles comes in a square." And they're like, "Yeah, I bet you that only got popular in the 50s or 60s. I bet you Americans eat more cheese than they used to.
Yeah.
And then that was the day they started the study.
You keep saying the triangle, circle, and square thing, which makes I have such specific random memories of different TV shows I watched growing up, of just snippets of them, and they're the only thing I remember from no, that's not true. The two things I remember from all of the run of Home Improvement with Tim Allen that I saw was one time he's in the back, or it might have been his wife in the back, so maybe it's not that specific, but he's trying to put a pizza box into a circle trash can, and he's like, the pizza's a circle, the trash can's a circle, why isn't the box a circle?
Man, that show is brilliant.
Yeah, but one of my favorite, I think we talked about this on the show before, but one of my favorite things I ever saw was when Toy Story 4 came out and Tim Allen and Tom Hanks had to pretend to be friends doing promotional tours, and you could just tell that Tom Hanks is I hate this guy.
This
he has a lot of
sucks.
opinions that I don't agree with,
Yeah.
and I have to pretend that I like him.
Okay, so I think, was that maybe your fourth sticker?
I think I've gotten everything right. I think I have a whole pizza by now.
Let's see.
No, 4 sounds right.
You got the after World War II. I think you got the 18,000, the 13%, and the 41% more cheese. Yes, you're at 4. Okay.
Woo! Almost a full pizza.
What is the world record diameter for largest pizza? 122 feet 8 inches, 223 feet and 6 inches, or 301 feet and 9 inches.
I feel I'm going to go big or go home here, because I feel with biggest things, it's always just well, you could just make a bigger one. So I'm going to say 300.
No, that is not right, and it is the smallest of the 3, in fact, actually.
What are these giant pizza cowards? Why are they so afraid?
So, okay, if you picture a football stadium,
great.
That is 300 feet plus the end zones, but just say from goal line to goal line. Yeah, that's 300, but that's a skinny rectangle and not a full circle. Sure. I don't even know where you would keep a pizza that wide.
Well, the question is, now I'm thinking about it. The question is, how do you cook that pizza?
Yes, right. That is a good question.
Finding an oven that is that big.
The thing I did bother writing down, my guess is that they probably built a platform and then just had fire under it.
That would make sense.
But because I feel the thing I did write down from the thing that it explained it a little bit afterwards was it was a gluten-free pizza. It was in Italy, and it was done so to spread awareness for healthy eating.
Oh, that's kind of sweet. They're we made a giant zog. Eat healthy, everyone. Don't eat this pizza. It's too big.
Don't eat any of this.
And it probably immediately had so much bacteria on it that you couldn't actually eat it.
Yeah, right. Okay, so you still have 4. We have 3 questions left, and otherwise you got to get 1. Otherwise, you don't get the personal pan pizza.
I want a zog.
That you can't eat.
Yes, correct.
According to, again, this is on the Eat This Not That website, but according to a Business Insider publication term that they had in their magazine at some point, this is a term they used, the pizza principle. The price of a New York City slice of pizza tends to rise over time exactly parallel to the price of what? A, rent in Manhattan. B, price of Broadway tickets. Or C, the price of subway fare.
These are all very New York things. I'm going to say rent.
According to the pizza principle, it is the price of subway fare.
Damn it.
Now, of course, inflation is inflation, but sure. I haven't read the article. This is just from that listicle.
That's fun, though. That's kind of I like those still. You can go to New York and you'll just find somewhere there'll be a slice for 99 cents.
Yeah,
and that just makes me happy. That's like the 99-cent hot dog at Costco where they're we know we're not making money off this, but who cares?
Which are, those 99-cent hot dogs are probably one of my very favorite sandwiches.
Oh, they're so good.
Okay, you still need that last star sticker. 2 more chances.
I want to make a club sandwich that's just a hot dog, and then really trick a bunch of people. It's it's what I do.
Yeah,
in my club.
Right, because that's where that comes from, right? It was from a club.
I assume.
Yeah. Okay. This one is just a fun geometry question.
Okay.
It was also
Sokotoa.
It was also included on this list, but I remember reading it and going, "Wait a second!" And then I did the math, and the list was right. One 18-inch pizza gives you blank than two 12-inch pizzas. Does one 18-inch pizza give you more pizza matter than two 12-inch pizzas? Does it give you the same exact amount as two 12-inch pizzas? Or is one 18-inch pizza less pizza than two 12-inch pizzas?
Okay, hold on. I gotta do the math real quick.
Josiah is doing some calculating. He might also be Googling formula for area of a circle.
Circle. I'm pretty sure it's the... No, wait. Do I? Hold on. It's pi times radius squared.
Which, of course, when I first did it, I was like, wait a second, 2 pi r, that doesn't make sense, but it's not 2 pi r. That's to find the circumference.
Yes, which was the first thing I did, and it was the first mistake I made.
Yep.
Fuck, God damn it. Shut up. Everyone shut up.
Josiah has calculated the area of one of the pizzas. I'm guessing is what that meant. Okay, great. I have a number. We'll just cut all this, and then I'll say, okay, Josiah went away for 45 minutes, and I could see him counting on his fingers.
All his toes. All right. I got the results,
Okay, Josiah
folks.
is back. He was gone for a very long time.
I got the results.
I
went
saw
and
an abacus at one point.
Yeah, I actually invented how to... No one's ever actually learned how to do the area of a circle, and I
Right.
just figured out the formula.
Yeah, he had to really propose some theorems and then prove them.
So this is, it goes against sort of what you're going to think, right? Because you would think that two pizzas gives you more surface area, but two 12-inchers gives you about 226 square inches. And a one 18-incher gives you 254 square inches.
You get more square inches of pizza if you get one 18-inch than if you get two 12s. Now, so you get that right, you get your star sticker, and this last question will just be bonus points. But here's what I will say to that question, and it's sort of to the sort of hot dog is a sandwich thing. Do you want more area of pizza, or do you want more slices of pizza?
Yes.
Because, for the most part, if you get a medium pizza versus a large, they probably have the same amount of slices, probably about 8 is my guess, is what is typical. And how many more bites per slice is the larger of the two pieces? Like maybe 3? You know, I would much rather have smaller slices because I'll be like, oh wow, I've already had 2 slices of pizza or 3 slices of pizza.
4,
I'm gonna eat 3 slices no matter how big it is.
4 slices of the 12-incher is gonna feel like more, even though it's probably not, than or it might be the same than 2 slices of the 18-incher.
Right.
And also think about how unwieldy those slices of that 18-inch are going to be.
Well, that's what we get at
slice.
Jimmy's Pizza Cafe here in Chicago, Illinois. Their pizzas are very long and floppy, and boy, oh boy, are they good. But we recently were like, we always have so much pizza left, and we realized we could order a smaller size. But then we did the stupid thing where we finished the pizza in that night, which is like, what the fuck are we doing? We could still save more slices for leftovers.
Right. We could eat this. We could have 2 meals.
Yeah. Okay, last question. What percentage of Americans have at least one slice of pizza per month? 53%? 73%? Or 93%?
I feel like it's got to be really high again, but 93 does seem very high. I'll go 73.
It is 93.
Okay, all these facts are going against
Isn't
each
that
other in my brain.
insane?
Because I'm like, that's so... I guess just one a month, though. That is so much.
Yeah.
Think about all the things that you can do in the world that 90% of people in the world are also doing that thing.
That's the
crazy.
sort of thing from the beginning of the episode of everyone can agree on this. When's the last time even 70% of the people agreed on something?
Yes, it's true. Well, and what's to go back, so that was a great game
Yeah,
of
so, okay,
Merriam-Webster's dictionary,
here-
Harry cousin, Adam's Family Harry cousin.
So here on my sticker sheet, I have 5 that I've given to you on your button, and I have 5 left. So I guess we both get a personal pan pizza.
What you didn't work fine. You did make the game. I'll accept it.
Yeah, I rigged the game so that I got to keep the stickers you didn't get.
Oh, I see how it is. But yeah, so that's like going back to something we were talking about earlier, like how it is very universal. A pizza party, or not even a pizza party, like when you're in college or high school or wherever, when people want you to come to an event, one of the ways they bribe you into coming is just by saying like there will be pizza there.
Yeah.
Right? There'll be free pizza. When I worked in like childcare, that was like one of the little things we would do occasionally on Fridays, just to like keep the kids sated and like have something to look forward to. And I feel like it's similar to how like if you're at a gathering and there's something on in the background, like it could be Star Wars, because no one's going to be like, I don't want.
That's a good point.
Like,
we have some friends who do like a Christmas party every year where they just have every Star Wars movie in order on television, and like you can like they tell you when they're gonna play each one, and you can come whenever, but it's just gonna always be on. But it's also just like a party.
Yeah, it's like and like it's a comfort food, and like they're comfort movies a lot of the time. Like it could just be something that you have. Could just be something that, and like I think probably, I mean, maybe not 90% of Americans have seen Star Wars, but maybe a lot of them, like a lot of them have,
You've
and a
at
lot of
least
people around the
seen
world
it
have.
in a Target, like
Yes,
like the Legos or the T-shirts or whatever.
You at least know about it, even if you haven't watched the movie.
Right.
So yeah, I think it is. I mean, I would say this of all the foods we've done, this is probably the highest. I would say.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think I had any other.
Yeah, I have a bunch of other notes.
Yeah,
colorful characters and or creatures like Little Caesar or the Noid.
The Noid.
It gets little kids to read, like Book It, obviously, and then like those young reader or like comic book Star Wars things. Or those like visual dictionary, like learn about all the characters books that get you reading. It's funny that I didn't remember having this note in here, but I clearly wrote this note before The Rise of Skywalker, because there's an additional lay-on to it that can include that. But the admission of past shortcomings, specifically Domino's ads, and J.J. Abrams insisting on using practical effects in The Force Awakens because, the prequels were whack. Pizza the Hut.
Yes, that's a big plus.
It can be both personal, but also with groups. There's like a whole community of Star Wars fans.
And
but
I just want a personal
you
pan
like
pizza.
Star Wars if you like Star Wars. Like you can go see a Star Wars movie by yourself, or you can have your own opinions about Star Wars, but you can also share them with other people. Nostalgia, just sort of in general.
Yes.
This is funny. I could try all day long to understand why, but it will still confound me that people don't like this.
Yes. I mean, yeah. It is strange sometimes because, like, yeah, they're both so. I think the thing that the word I was trying to think of when we were doing our like cold open is just like inoffensive, like sort of unassuming.
Yes, yeah.
Where like people can have strong opinions about Star Wars and strong opinions about pizza, like the pineapple thing. But in general, it's just like mass produce for mass appeal. It's like, here you go.
Have
it's
some
fine.
freaking
Like,
pizza, you idiots.
Yeah.
In fact,
like,
the thing you said about like working and someone bringing in pizza or whatever, I would even if it's like fucking 8:30 in the morning, I would much rather someone bring in pizza than like donuts, because like I like a donut. I love a donut. But, like, not if I'm doing keto or not if I want to have a good day in general.
Yeah, I was like,
I'd much rather have a bad day because I ate pizza at 8:30 than because I ate a donut at 8:30.
And pizza's like a meal that has several different things on it, whereas, like, donut is just going to be sugar. And I love a donut, too. Donut's one of my favorite, like, treats.
And look, they're both cake. Pizza and donuts are both just like flour and fucking sugar.
See, that's the sandwich debate needs to go back to. These are all just different kinds of cake.
Yeah, every food if it has any like flour in it at all, is essentially just cake. That's how your body is receiving it. It's like, oh my god, I don't know how to break all this down.
Yeah, okay, you know what? Let's take, back when I was watching a lot of Great British Bake Off, like, it's all just bread, right? It's all just
Right,
bread.
right.
And, like, it's different kinds of bread in different forms, and they have a bread week, but every week on that show could be called Bread Week.
Right.
Because it's all different kinds. So I think you're right. I think pizza's bread, sandwich is bread,
Yeah.
donut is bread. And
Hot
I'm
dog
gonna
is
start going,
sandwich, which
hot dog
is
is sandwich.
already established as bread.
hot dog is sandwich, woman inherits the earth. Is that how that
Yeah,
monologue
wait,
goes?
what was that?
Dinosaur kills man, sandwich is bread.
Oh yeah, is that
Woman inherits
Jurassic
the earth.
Park?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was, better ingredients, better pizza. Dinosaur kills man, Papa John's.
Horrible guy from Indiana who committed crimes.
Does Shaq own any Star Wars? Because Shaq does own some Papa's John's.
Reese's. No,
So
I don't think Shaq owns any Star Wars.
Okay. Let's try to, okay. Any more? Do we have any more? Do you have any more notes?
I have no more notes. I did write in there that there's literally like a lightsaber pizza cutter. Like there's like
Oh,
Star
yeah.
Wars food shit, but like
Yes.
I mean, I think you're right. I think in terms of foods, you're already sort of fighting a bit of an uphill battle, even though I did make a very compelling case for this getting a 10 out of 10. I don't think it gets actually a 10. I think food, you're struggling to crack that midpoint, but I would maybe say this might be the most Star Wars food out there.
I think you're right. I think it's going to come right in the middle for me. I feel like it's close to that middle point.
In fact, it might be even too liked. Like maybe,
Yeah.
in fact, it might just be because we've talked about this specific thing a lot this episode, but it might be that hot dogs are the most Star Wars food, because I feel like everybody's at least like, yeah, fine, I'll have a hot dog, but like people will probably be like, no, I don't like hot dogs. I'm not gonna have.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna stoop to the level of having a hot dog.
You're right. Pizza is, in a way that Star Wars isn't, because there are people who don't care about it, and also who will think it's bad or
Right.
or it is too controversial in
Right.
a way.
Like, and,
So maybe
and when
that
we
might take it
know
down like
that
one.
93% of Americans sometime in the past month have had a slice of pizza.
Right.
93% of
fun.
Americans have not in the past month consumed something related to Star Wars.
I love that, because you could walk around and then just like start counting people, and then like pretty much just go up to 10 people and
Yeah.
then go up to 9 of them and be like,
You've
you've had pizza in the last month. And then you're going to be right.
Yeah, it's sort
You're
of
gonna
like
be right.
those like cold reading mediums who are like, have you had someone die in your family
Yeah.
in the past 20 years with their name started with a J or an M?
Mhm. It's like, and you had pizza in the last month, and you're currently eating one right now in 1 second. There's 250 people in this room. One of you just ate a pizza.
Look to your left.
In 1 second.
Look to your right. All of you ate pizza.
All of you.
Sometime in the last 30 days.
Yeah, you freaks, you perverts.
It is like a little crazy though to think about that. Like what other thing has that many people done? Like, or even other foods. Like, I don't remember the last time I had a banana. It probably wasn't in 2020.
I bought bananas. I had to get my own groceries because I've been staying with my parents and they were out of town to get my own groceries. I bought bananas, and guess who didn't eat any of them? It was me.
Yeah. Like,
They just sat there.
What's the last time you had those like neon orange like square crackers that have the peanut butter in them? That it comes in like a 6-pack at like a 7-Eleven or whatever. My
those
answer to
nasty
that
things.
might be 10 years ago.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I've had a burger recently. I haven't had waffles in a while.
Yeah.
Like fried chicken recently. Spaghetti? Not in a while.
Yeah. Like, I was part of the 7% for the past couple months because I wasn't eating pizza because I was eating keto.
Right.
And you know what? That's actually not true. I did keto for 2 months. The first month, I did not have any pizza. The second month, I had Blaze keto pizza.
There you go.
So even when you're like consciously avoiding foods like pizza, you're eating pizza, dude.
You're eating pizza. And as we've discussed, everything is bread, so everything is pizza.
Yeah. And everything
really-
is Star Wars. So maybe
Everything is
this
Star
is a
Wars.
good case for it being Star Wars.
Honestly, I think we're pretty... So okay. My unit of measure is going to be types of cheese on my favorite pizza at the old pizza place I used to work at.
Ah, okay. I'm going to do, honestly, I don't feel like being particularly hilarious here. I'm going to do fucking pepperonis.
Yeah, dude, do a
like,
pep.
That to me is pizza. If someone says, it's sort of like now that you have to say chocolate frosty at Wendy's, like a frosty is chocolate unless you order it elsewise.
Guys, don't get Mike started, okay?
And
Pizza's
pizza
pepperoni.
is like pepperoni pizza. And I'm gonna specify that it's pepperoni slices on a slice of pizza, because if it were on the entire pie, that would be a very under-toppinged pizza.
Yes, no, that would be
that'd be a cheese pizza with some accidents on it.
Yeah, some ham accidents. I'm gonna say here's what we got: mozzarella, Parmesan, feta, and a little bit of goat cheese.
Ooh, salty pie.
And guess what? And so that's I'm giving it a 4. And then the other toppings on that pizza were green chilies, bacon, grilled chicken, and sliced almonds.
Oh, baby.
No tomato sauce. It was a white pie. Anyway, go ahead.
I am going to go a little higher.
Okay.
I'm also going to say that it's showing my hand a little bit, because now that I've said hot dogs are the most Star Wars food, I now can't get that out of my head. I think that's also like super. We would have to explore it, but like,
yeah,
something like a hot dog that has a little bit more polarization than pizza would be the highest I would give a food, and I feel like that's a 6.
Sure.
Which is insane, because we've given some Star Wars movies 5s. But I am going to say it's just under that. It is going to be 5.5 pepperonis. So it's like where the slice went through the pepperoni and it's on the edge and it's a half. 5.5 out of 10 is what I'm giving this. It does hurt me to give it lower than 8, since I made the case for it being a 10, but I did not feel like it deserved to go below the midpoint. But it's fine that yours did.
I was at the midpoint until you said the thing about the hot dogs. That's what made me take it down. So we were close. Okay, well, I think that's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Oh, one last thing before we quit talking about pizza. I have a pizza pro tip for you all from when I worked at a pizza place, and also it's just good. Put honey on your pizza.
Oh, I've heard of this.
It doesn't go with every some pizzas you can literally just drizzle honey on top and it'll be good. If you don't want to do that, just get some honey on the side, dip it, see if it's good with the whole pizza. And if it's not good with the whole pizza, save your crust and dip the crust in the honey, because it's a nice little treat for after you're done. That's a pro tip. We had honey bottles. We had honey bottles on all of our tables at the pizza restaurant, and like literally we would tell people sometimes like, put honey on this one because it's very good.
Oh, like a pairing suggestion.
Yes, and also wine goes very well with pizza, almost better than beer does. So think about your wine pairings.
But boy, oh boy, man, after a long day of moving apartments, a pizza and a beer.
Oh, a pizza and a beer?
Fucking kidding me?
Honestly, dude, like I'm mad that we're talking about pizzas so much, because now I want nothing more than just to order a medium bacon pizza from Domino's
really good.
And relive the glory days. But do you want us on the internet? Because if you do, you can find the show at How Star Wars Is It on Twitter and Instagram. You can email us at agoodpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, we've gotten some emails recently, like the one we mentioned with the rubric, as well as I think we in the same week got another email, and it was good to hear from him. It was actually a friend of mine who also listens to the show, so shout out hi to Spencer.
Lots of cool stuff.
Send us an email, guys. We really like getting those.
We love getting them. It makes us happy every time. Let's see. Anything else? Oh, yeah. You can find my information in the show notes, because I'm tired of saying it every time. But Twitter and Instagram I don't use, obviously. Go to my website, got an audiobook out. Mike, what about you? Any new videos or anything?
Same story. I would like to at least shoot another video before the end of the year, if not edit and release it, but nothing yet. I'll just save in the future. If I have some new thing, I'll just plug it. Otherwise, I'm on all the social media, and you can find me.
Yeah, go to the show notes. That's where we're going to start doing that, because I feel like it's very unwieldy and I get tired of saying it at the end.
Yeah.
But I think that's everything. So, is that time for talking about that?
That's about time for talking about that.
Well, like we always say, we love you.
And may the fourth be with you.
There are only a few things in life that everybody agrees on. Number 1, John F. Kennedy.
Oh my God, JFK was what immediately came to my mind also. Use this at the end of the app.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I was going to say something like, there were 2 shooters in Dallas.